Part 4 Summary Invaders. Part 4 opens with a police report on an incident at the Westin Hotel where the Griffins are staying. The report details how Audrey called the police complaining about a noisy party in an adjacent room, then assaulted the responding officer when he traced the noise and the smell of pot to Kyle's room instead. The report is followed by a breezy and upbeat email from Audrey to Sue Lynn announcing she will be taking up the latter's offer to be her house guest. Sue Lynn, absorbed by Elgin's personal crisis, tries in vain to put Audrey off. Elgin thanks Sue Lynn for her support during his meeting with Agent Strang and includes her in his plans for an intervention with Bernadette, which Dr. Kurtz of Madrona Hill will stage. Meanwhile, Elgin writes to administrators at Choate, asking that B begin classes mid-year rather than completing the year at Gaylor Street. Elgin also arranges for his brother, Van, to fly in from Hawaii to be with B, while Elgin attempts to have Bernadette admitted to Madrona Hill. Dr. Kurtz requests authorization from her employers to meet with Elgin in Seattle to discuss a possible intervention. Dr. Kurtz questions Elgin's motives and credibility, but notes that evidence of Bernadette hoarding pills with a possible intention of suicide overrides those concerns. B describes her father returning home unexpectedly to announce Van's impending arrival, supposedly to dox it for ice cream, which comes as a surprise to B and to Bernadette. Elgin leaves just as abruptly after discovering that Bernadette's suitcase for the Antarctic trip is still empty, though she is packed for her husband and her daughter. Dr. Kurtz describes her meeting at Microsoft with Elgin in her notes. Elgin shares the FBF file on Bernadette, which now includes notes on the events surrounding the prospective parent brunch and the mudslide, as well as Bernadette's confrontations with Audrey Griffin and the erection of the billboard. Dr. Kurtz agrees that Bernadette is suffering from mental problems, but feels that outpatient therapy would better address them. When Elgin presses her, she suggests letting a specialist in drug addiction stage the intervention, based on Bernadette's apparent dependence on pills. Elgin tells Dr. Kurtz that no one else can be privy to the information on the FBI file. Dr. Kurtz, who is impressed by the atmosphere of the Microsoft campus and has recognized Elgin as the man in the TED Talk, finally agrees to conduct the intervention herself. She knows that Sue Lynn has arranged for Elgin to sleep in a hotel and will drive him there herself. B's narrative describes her drive with her father to the airport the next day to pick up Uncle Van. Elgin tells B about his plan for her to start at Choate after the holidays, which B refuses to consider. He alludes vaguely to a future in which he'll be around more, starting with a trip to Antarctica. He talks about the good time the two of them will have on the trip, prompting B to say he means the three of them, and ends the conversation. Dr. Kurtz submits a report to her employees explaining that she will employ the Johnson model of ambush-style intervention as opposed to the more current motivational intervention model, due to the level of secrecy dictated by the involvement of the FBI. That evening, B goes with Kennedy and her youth group to the Radio City Music Hall Christmas Spectacular featuring the Rockettes. B finds the Rockettes corny and uninvolving, but finds herself unexpectedly caught up in the moment when a live nativity scene takes the stage, accompanied by a choir singing "O Holy Night." The audience responds rapturously, and B is swept along in the wave of emotion. B identifies with the baby in the manger, thinking of her infant self. I was surrounded by the surgeons and residents and nurses who helped me stay alive when I was born blue. It was because of them that I was in this magnificent wave of people and music. She feels a wave of love for her family and for everyone else in her life, and she regrets having been short with her father in the car. The next morning, B plays her flute for the kindergarteners as they sing their Japanese nursery song in the World Celebration Day concert and perform the choreography B has created for them. Bee looks up and sees Bernadette watching her from a doorway. When she looks up again, Bernadette is gone. Bee's description of these events is followed by a brief letter from Dr. Kurtz to her employers at Madrona Hill, in which she submits her resignation in light of the tragic and mysterious events surrounding Bernadette's intervention. The letter is followed by a report on the intervention and a transcript of the audio tape Dr. Kurtz has made as events unfold. The plan is to conduct the intervention at the office of the dentist scheduled to remove Bernadette's wisdom teeth, while a van takes Bee to the zoo. However, when Dr. Kurtz arrives at the Branch's house, she finds Agent Strang already there, accompanied by the police. Agent Strang explains that the Branch's stolen airline miles have been used to purchase a one-way ticket from Moscow to Seattle. As they're leaving for the dentist office, Bernadette appears, announcing that she's canceled the appointment and will be going with her family to Antarctica, and asking why the police are there. Algin accuses Bernadette of lying about going to Antarctica. When Bernadette mentions Manjula, Algin asks Agent Strang to explain to Bernadette that Manjula never existed, though Agent Strang complains that conducting an intervention is outside his pay grade. Dr. Kurtz continues to present reality to Bernadette. Bernadette is devastated to realize the danger she has exposed the family of through her involvement with Manjula, but she vehemently denies ever considering suicide or self-harm. She reacts angrily to the presence of Su Lin, whom she refers to as the Nat and the admin. After spotting a pair of panties sticking out of Su Leg's jeans, Bernadette demands that she leaves the house, referring to her contemptuously as Seattle-born secretary. Algin angrily confronts Bernadette with his own feelings of betrayal, saying that she has shut him out and developed contempt for him while still secretly mourning the loss of the 20-mile house. Bernadette says she will attempt to make it up, beginning with a family trip to Antarctica. Algin and Dr. Kurtz reveal that they want Bernadette to go to Madrona Hill instead. The realization that Algin intends to put her away in a loony bin infuriates Bernadette. She also recognizes a detective with Agent Strang as a man she thought was following her, offering this as proof that she is not crazy. She storms out and shuts herself in the bathroom. Algin, suddenly contrite, finds that Bernadette's suitcase for the Antarctic trip is packed. He asks Bernadette to come to the bathroom, but she does not respond. After several minutes, the group breaks down the door, only to find the bathroom empty, the water in the sink still running. As the bathroom is set high above a steep slope, Bernadette cannot have jumped without injury. Algin attempts to search the basement, but injures himself on the blackberry brambles that have taken it over. Dr. Kurtz ends her report by describing how Algin was rushed to the eye clinic at a nearby hospital, and that even a later search by a K-9 team failed to reveal any trace of Bernadette.